Hi there. It has been a while for YouTube, but not for Instagram. I'm gonna do a little plug here for a look that I did on Instagram and TikTok for Black History Month for the month of February. I'm gonna plug that here. I didn't do a video on it. I have to be honest, that project took a lot out of me. Yes, that is about 600 hair rollers that I and a couple friends of mine hand rolled for this super cool project that I did for Black History Month. I'll go let you check it out. It was pretty awesome, but it's not the point of this video. I did a lookbook based on one of my favorite movies at the moment, Waiting to Exhale. This movie is everything to me, and I did a lookbook based on one of my comfort characters, Robin Stokes, played by Lela Rochon. I think that's how you pronounce her last name. If you aren't familiar with the movie Waiting to Exhale, it is an iconic Black movie directed by Forest Whitaker about four women kind of in the different stages of singleness. I think when we see the trope of four women in any kind of media or show, TV show, movie, etc., their characters are supposed to represent different aspects of ourselves. We're supposed to be able to see ourselves in each of the characters, or be able to say, you know, at some point in our lives, I was her, or at some point in our lives, you know, I said this, or I did that just like her. And they're supposed to help make us feel seen. I think this movie does a beautiful job of doing that with the characters. I mean, like, what a cast. Loretta Devine, Angela Bassett, Whitney Houston is in this movie, and Lela Rochon. Robin's character kind of represents the naive, youthful, young, and hopeful aspect of singleness. We see a lot of flaws in her character, but also we can't help but see her as a mirror for how, you know, we are or once were when trying to find love. She's kind of the character we see most often in more intimate scenes and intimate settings in this movie. And I feel like we see her vulnerability, but we also see, with the mistreatment of the men that she chooses, it leaves her exposed. It leaves her questioning her self-worth. It's something very interesting to watch, especially being a Black woman. I think this movie shows a different side of Black women, that we can be intense, referring to Angela Bassett's, you know, iconic fire scene, but it can show Black women being soft and Black women being wealthy and choosing themselves over and over and over again. And I think Robin is one of the main characters we see. We constantly see her having to defend and choose herself over and over again. And that's kind of what I love about her character. So with that being said, now that I gave you some background into this movie and why it's one of my favorite movies, let's get into these looks. I did 4 specific looks that just stood out to me. Ones that I've been wanting to do for years, and just to have in my like everyday wardrobe. This wasn't even like a, oh, let me do a recreation of this. Like, I was like, need this white iconic dress, need this black set. Oh my gosh. All these looks came from materials from Amazon, so I'll have all the details linked below. And I'll begin by talking about look number 1, which I'm dressed in today. I like to call it Michael Who, because literally there's a clip of her going, Michael Who. Look number 1 is iconic. I think it is one of the first scenes in the movie where all 4 women are in one scene together, and they're going to the club, because at this point all of them are single and they are outside. I think her look for this scene was so iconic. I mean, the hair, as you can see, the hair was super cute, and what stuck out to me about this look was her hair clips. As you can see, I have them right here. I made these. I got a roll of rhinestones from Michael's, got some bobby pins, and I used E6000 glue to kind of glue these rhinestones onto the bobby pins. Once I had the glue, and once the glue kind of dried just a little bit, I kind of shifted the rhinestones to kind of create that squiggle shape that she has. The look is very playful, very fun, very youthful, with this sort of hairstyle. I mean, the hairstyle's very mature. She's wearing this lace red top, but then, just to give you something to when she's talking to her friends on the side, you have this peekaboo of these cute little playful barrettes. Now, with shooting look number 1, I was like, okay, where can I go where there is a circular booth with some kind of DJ setup in the background with people dancing, etc., etc. I went to Bar Louie. I went to a chain bar in my area. I dragged my good friend Sam out. I brought not just my camera and my equipment, but I also brought some lighting equipment too. We did eventually get asked to turn the lights off. You win some, you lose some. We got the shot, obviously. So yeah, that's look number one. Look number two, y'all. Look number two. I made Robin's iconic white dress. Oh my gosh. And y'all, it was way easier than I thought it would be. Oh, y'all aren't ready for this. Okay, so I got this dress from Amazon. What I did was, and please use your imagination for this, I took this dress, I cut 2 slits in the front, I cut 2 slits on the sides, I did the same thing on the back. After cutting these slits, I pinched the extra fabric in the center between these 2 holes, and I took a separate white t-shirt and I cut the bottom of the t-shirt, creating these strips. I took the strips from the white t-shirt, knotted it once to kind of pull the material together, to bunch the material. Then I just kept knotting it to make the knots look a little fuller like hers are. I think I did a total of 4 knots, and then I cut off the extra fabric from tying it. And I did this all around the dress. There's 6 knots total surrounding the whole bodice of the dress. Now for the bottom of the dress, lining with the slits that I made earlier, I cut all the way up till maybe the mid thigh, and then I just literally took the extra material and knotted it within itself at the bottom. So I didn't use any extra material for making the knots at the bottom. That is the full strip of the dress. But that is how I made the dress. It's so easy, but I got so many comments from people saying that they dreamed of having this dress. I dreamed of having this dress. I mean, this look transcends decades. If you've seen this movie, you know this dress. I wore this dress when going out with friends after filming this look, and people would stop me and they were like, that's the dress from Waiting to Exhale. I mean, this dress is something about it that just sticks with people, and it sticks in your mind. Even though it's so simple. I used a long curly wig from the beauty supply. I just honestly put the wig up, I clipped it in the back, and just let a couple curls hang from the side, similar to how hers looked. You don't really see much of the purse that she's wearing, but if you look closely, she is wearing this kind of rectangular small bag with a gold chain, which so ahead of her time. Alrighty, look number 3, y'all. Honestly, one of my favorites. The set that she wears is just so vintage and stunning. In this scene, she is reconnecting with a past lover, a former flame of hers who is emotionally unavailable. In the movie, he's portrayed as being married, so that's kind of our indicator that he's emotionally unavailable. But I think in the book, he wasn't necessarily married, he just wasn't emotionally available, and he wasn't willing to marry her. So how I made it, I went onto Amazon, I looked up a mesh bodysuit. I chose one that was a turtleneck with long sleeves. You don't necessarily have to do that, but I just wanted to make sure that the bottom looked correct, or looked the way that I wanted it to, and that the fit was nice, you know, that it had a nice shape and waistline. And then I went to Target and got a black push-up bra, and I set it up on my mannequin, and I glued the bra onto the mesh set. Let that dry on my mannequin for a little bit, and then I cut off the sleeves and the extra material. So what you were left with was the bra and the mesh bodysuit. With this lookbook, I kind of formatted the post as kind of a magazine kind of look. And I did little excerpts explaining each of the looks, but also tying it into a character. And I kind of want to read one of them for what I did for look number 3. It said, Robin Looks tells a story of passion and misjudgment. Robin wears her heart and her missteps on full display. A fearless nod to the men who never quite deserved her. I think with her character, we see her choosing not so great men. And it's hard to watch because we're like, Robin, you're so gorgeous, you're such a baddie. Like, why are you choosing all these terrible men and letting them walk all over you and letting them get away with stuff that they shouldn't? So I think this set just speaks to that, how gorgeous she is, and how, you know, even a gorgeous woman can still be rejected in a set like that. How could she have possibly been rejected in a set like that? She looked way too good to just turn over and go to bed. Insane, insane work. With hair for this look, I thought it would look really good with some very big voluminous hair. I actually used the same wig from look 2 and just brushed out the curls. And then I also think I had a ponytail from a past video that I've done that I put underneath it. I teased it and put underneath the hair and kind of just made this voluminous, huge hair, which I really think helped me make the look my own, but also elevated the look a bit and made it a little more editorial. I filmed this scene in my mother's bathroom. She has like the most perfect bathroom for this. I was so happy with how it came out. I was so impressed by how the walls matched the color of Robin's walls in her apartment. And that's kind of what I was looking for. I was like, okay, how can I build a room or a space with these kind of terracotta color rooms? Speaking of, I mean, this movie is just beautiful. It's set in Arizona, but I just wanted to have something with me to drink. Like, I didn't really think about getting it in the shot or anything. Found this little glass with a little cactus on it. Isn't that cute? I thought that was a neat little Easter egg. On to look number 4. This is the last look that I put together. This is a pivotal scene for Robin's character because although we watched the movie and we're like, Troy is awful, he's not good for her, he's, you know, a crackhead.
Girl, what do you expect him to say? I'm a crackhead?
Which is also how he's described in the movie. We see her stand up for herself to all of these men, but this is probably one of the moments where Robin stands up for herself and doesn't look back. I titled this look, I'm Not Going, because in this scene, she is talking with Troy, who has invited her to a cookout to meet his mother after not knowing her for very long.
Troy, take your drunk ass, leather wearing in the summertime, need a shave, stinky ass home. I'm not going.
There's a very quick line in this scene. She tells Troy after waiting 2 hours that she's not going with him. With that little line, it kind of tells us that she was still kind of hopeful that she was going to be chosen, that she was going to feel validated, that she was going to find her waiting to exhale moment in Troy. But again, he disappointed her and proved to her that he's not the one for her. So this scene, she is on her balcony of her apartment wearing this stunning orange dress, which there's a little bit of irony to it because during this scene, her and Troy are throwing oranges back at each other, which is also why in this scene I'm holding a couple of oranges. So I thought it would just be a nice little prop. But again, I got this dress on Amazon. I got the headbands on Amazon as well. So when breaking down this look, I thought, okay, what are the pieces that stand out? Obviously hair, the headband, and the dress. To kind of create the belt design that she has, I cut off the seam of the bottom of the dress and just wrapped it around my waist to give that little tied design that she's wearing. For the headband, so what I did was I cut little lines into this headband and also put little silver beads to resemble the headband that she's wearing. Filming this scene, I think this was probably one of these sets that was the hardest to find. I was like, okay, where am I gonna find a balcony I can film from where my camera is safe, because I will be at a significant distance from my camera, but also where am I gonna find a balcony that has the kind of black metal bars? I didn't need it to look exactly like hers, but to just be black and metal. And I found it at my dad's apartment complex. I went over there and I was driving by it one day and I was like, oh my gosh, that's perfect. The balcony was positioned at an angle that I was able to record these shots and to capture these shots.
Then you wonder why we go out with white women.
A white woman can have your sorry ass.
So I'll read you a little bit of what I put together for the post for this look. It says, watching her fight to uphold her standards again and again, to prioritize her own worth over old patterns. The scene is empowering, giving us hope that no matter what, she'll be okay. It's a visual reminder that strength can be playful, vibrant, and fully her own. I think throughout the movie, the way that she is with her outbursts, with her kind of lack of self-control in her personality and the things she says. You know, she's kind of wild at the mouth. We kind of worry about her. If we put ourselves in the shoes of her friends, we would be like, oh gosh, we worry about Robin, you know, we worry. But I think this is one of those scenes where we watch her stand up for herself and we're like, okay, Robin's gonna be okay. Now, I'm not gonna spoil the ending for you for Robin's character if you haven't seen the movie, but I will add that there is a scene between Robin and Whitney Houston's character, Savannah.
He's a good man, Savannah. A good man.
We learned that Robin isn't just naive because of lack of experience. She talks about significant experiences in her life that shows that she's been here before, that she's made these choices before, and it sheds light on the pattern that she's used to. And so it just adds another deeper layer into the complexity of this character. So with that being said, I love this movie. I hope this encourages you to watch Waiting to Exhale if you haven't seen the movie. And thanks for watching. Bye.